"5:07 a.m. in the morning, Friday morning. 7 minutes past the big hour, 5 o'clock. That's right, here at WSUL in your morning commute. It's time for the gratitude list. That's right, here with the Whopper and the Madman. Your morning drive-in brought to you by Outrage Sports. That's right, if you're not pissed off, then you're not a fan. Coming soon, Outrage Comics and Outrage Politics. It's the gratitude list show. Check your blind alleyway. Keep your eyes peeled. It's 45 degrees Fahrenheit, so hopefully the unhoused population that's going to be populating that public square a little later today, hopefully they're safe and warm and loved and have something to eat. Have somewhere safe to sleep. And that no one steals their shoes, like in that Mare Winningham movie where she's like, "Why'd you take your shoes off?" "Someone stole my shoes." "And why'd you take them off?" She's in the shelter, you know. It's really sad. You like my hat? I do. It's an Irish walking hat. Came from Hannah Hats in Kerry, Ireland. Well, no, Donegal, Ireland. Hannah Hats. It's wool. It keeps my head warm in these cold October mornings. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I often ask, do Democrats even pledge allegiance to the flag? What do they pledge allegiance to? We got a good idea. What do Republicans pledge allegiance to? Yeah, I got a good idea on that too. What do you pledge allegiance to? Is anything worthy of your pledge of allegiance? Who knows? Who cares? Nobody cares, seriously. Only when they need allies. I am grateful and blessed. I start off my mornings with the gratitude list. It's really helped my life on a day-to-day basis. I am grateful and blessed for my family, my friends, my faith, my freedom, my health, my union job, a good night's sleep, and a solid breakfast. And from there, I elaborate and build on that. Gratitude has given me a way to better see my purpose through giving me perspective. You think you're having a shitty day? Well, look at your old gratitude list. Count your blessings. Literally, it has the power to stop the inertia of your bad day. It will give you a neutral moment where you can make a new decision, where you can say, I choose to do something different. I choose to react somehow differently. I choose not to continue my shitty day. You can continue your shitty day if you'd like. That's a conscious choice. It's given me the ability to rein in my self-talk, your internal dialogue. I mean, it's not so negative anymore. It's actually quite helpful now. If you're a fan of the hat, give me a like in the comments section. I like my hat. Look, it's got all these patches on it and stuff. I like it. It's an old man hat, and I'm an old man now. It's also Apolitically Incorrect Friday, where I get apolitically incorrect. Because I don't care about politics anymore. It's out of my hands. It's out of my control. It's the 7 bankers and pharmaceutical big pharma people that live in the center of the moon that dictate what goes on down here on planet Earth. We all know that, all right? You know, they're associated with the kingdoms of Lemuria and Atlantis, and then, and then the sky chariots will, come and whisk away the worthy. I was brushing my teeth this morning. I brush my teeth every morning. I've got a one of those fusion ones that has the electric brush head and a water pick built in. That's just water pick's amazing. You'll be horrified the day after eating Chinese food. Like, oh my god! Yeah. So like I misaimed, and one of the jet streams from the water pick hit me like a couple of times right in the back of the throat. And then when I'm spitting, I'm like, oh, there's a spot of blood. So, it's very soft tissue back there. Please be careful. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, gotta worry about that. Now I gargle with yellow Listerine because it works. It tastes like it works. None of that frilly, froofy stuff is not for sissies. I said it, sissies. It's okay, I like sissies. I like women, I like sissies, I like everyone. Not in a sexual way. I like women. I wish women would like me. But what does that have to do with Politically Incorrect Friday? Anything happened this week besides a couple of hurricanes and letting Americans down and giving more money to foreign countries and we give our own citizens? And I'm worried that if people evacuated their Florida homes, they're going to come back and find squatters, these migrants, and then they're shit out of luck, because of finders keepers and that, yeah. To be honestly, though, let's drop kayfabe for a second. Let's drop satire. Let's drop humor. Let's be humorless, like Democrats do. I need to stop making fun of Democrats. They're oversensitive, and they can't take jokes. They can't take criticism. They're not a force to be reckoned with. They are a bunch of pushovers. They want to lead the free world, but you're asking for weaklings to inherit this grand power of whatever the fuck it is. Who cares? I'm a fan of history. And what does any of these political things... I'm not a fan of Republicans either. All Republicans are not maggots. MAGA is a very amplified small part of that fucking Republican experience. It's not that I object to voting for a woman or a woman of color. I object to voting for that particular human. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. I don't think she's the right choice to lead the free world. You look at the state where she's from, it's terrible. Look at the state where her vice presidential candidate pick is from. Once again, terrible. That's how our country is going to end up. One big summer of love. No, it's not. That's just like saying something bad things about, Trump. Look at it. His first presidency was. I'm sorry that conservatives got their way for a while. But shit, we're all still here, aren't we? Except for those, I don't even bring that shit up. So, but I'm a big fan of history. I've been reading, I've been on a history kick lately. I've read The Civil War of Narrative, 3 volumes by Shelby Foote for the 4th time. Love that book. I read The Rise of Communism because there are so many similarities between the rise of communism and the turn of the 19th and 20th century in Russia, that became the Soviet Union, and to the mentalities of what's going on here in America today. We definitely are infested with communists, and that has been America's natural enemy for a very long time. And people are just happy to ignore that. But once again, history. I'm also reading War and World History. Wonderful series of lectures. It's like the evolution of war through history. There are so many commonalities despite geographical distances, of human behavior, and of war, and of violence, and of using war to, well, adjudicate disputes. And it comes to about cultures, and it comes down to populations, and it comes down to resources, and it comes down to, do you have enough food to feed your people? What do you do when your population exceeds your capacity to produce agriculture and also hunting, protein, meat? What happens? Well, you need to expand your borders. You need to find other places. But what if those other places are already populated? This is human history. Also, the whole thing about slavery. White people did not invent slavery. White people cannot be on the hook for slavery like this. Like all of the Middle East, Arab people, Persian people, Chinese people, African people, Indian people. There's just like this. Slavery, once again, that's a fucking world thing too, regardless of your geographical differences and separations. It's only academic postmodernism that wants to put the blame on that for leverage sake, to silence people and to get them to capitulate to their social justice demands. And I'm a high school graduate. And I see this from the cheap seats. You don't have to go to college and know that the fix is in. A politically incorrect Friday. I'm grateful and blessed, though. How does this factor into gratitude? I'm grateful and blessed that I have the ability to see this, the wisdom to know how to use it, and the action, the agency, in order to let this shit go. Because once again, coming back down to history, war history, the evolution of war, the evolution of armies, the evolution of weapons. What about just how does any of this really affect the person, the people, living life day to day? Those who aren't hunters, those who aren't warriors, those who aren't royalty or politicians. How does that, what do? They lived life until they died. They lived, they loved, they ate, they argued, they fucked. They have hopes and dreams. They sleep, they laugh, they fart. They hopefully have kids and get to see those kids grow. It's the circle of life. Do 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 do. Ha ha ha! Big advertisement on the side of the subway train. Indeed. Let's get on this last subway car here so we don't have to be bothered by our friend. It's Friday. I'm so grateful and blessed to have a weekend. It's a long weekend. It's Columbus Day weekend. Did you say it was Columbus Day? You chud. You incel. You bigot. You phobe. You dirty adjacent. It's also Indigenous Peoples Day. It's the commie stuff. Pull down statues and replace them with new history. And also I throw this at the feet of the Republicans for allowing this to happen, for not being vigilant to the left, to not caring enough to be, for letting your daughters come home from college filled with these heads full of this fucking commie bullshit, and falling for their leverage that you'll never see your grandkids if you don't vote blue, that kind of stuff. That shit happens. What do you think happened to James Cameron, the director of Titanic and Terminator? Come on. I'm from the projects. I can be sold on stuff, but you just can't sell me on very human stuff. It's Apolitically Incorrect Friday. So yeah, I don't object to voting. I'm not going to fault for that. Like, oh, you're just some kind of bigot or phobe or racist because you don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. This phobe, bigot. That's how these people react and respond, because they want to use those weaponized words in order to silence you, to shame you into not being able to dissent. Or, I mean, seriously, I don't think she's the right person. You know what I mean? God bless her. Live life. Love your children, or your stepchildren. You know what I mean? And that's not a ding either. All right, I don't have children.
Next stop.
But it's like, you know who I would vote for? Condoleezza Rice. Or would I? Because she's a Republican. But seriously, I mean, that person's got so much experience and so much leadership and so much credit and credibility. Why isn't there a super ticket of Condoleezza Rice and Vivek Ramaswamy or Bobby Jindal? Like, this is what Republicans really need to take the piss out of Democrats with the whole inclusion, diversity, and representation thing by putting our people of color, their people of color, forward. Especially because people, I don't know. I would have a lot more confidence in a Condoleezza Rice administration. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe the more I find out about her, maybe I would be like, maybe she just isn't the right one. Democrats would vote AOC to be a president. That's just how, they would vote Ilhan Omar to be president. They would, just out of the sheer fact that they're a woman of color, for because of the intersectional, critical theories and academic postmodernism. Like, those are the points that are important. Not running a country, not running the free world. I don't see it, man. But that's okay. I think everything's going to plan. I think everything's trying to be like, I think we're being encouraged to go beyond a tipping point where it will be easier to take away people's right to free speech, right to bear arms, and etc. There will be a tipping point towards an empire, an imperial American state. I'm kind of all for that.
The destination of this train is Ashmont.
To have, at least our borders will be secure. I don't know. I do have a lot of satire. I do have a lot of foolishness. I do have a playful, mischievous energy. All right, so I don't take my own political shit seriously. What makes you think I'm going to take yours seriously? Sorry, I know everything's do or die, some fear-based fucking thing. We're a threat for democracy. The Democrats are a threat to democracy too, the way they talk about free speech. Democrats are a threat to our nation. Only an academic postmodernist is going to frame nationalism as inherent racisms. Look at the World Cup. I think that's a great way to frame nationalism and how people get really into it, behind their culture, behind their country, behind their flag, behind their team. And why is and sovereignty. I mean, just in your borders. I don't know. I don't have any answers. All I have are more questions. But I'm a pretty bright dude for a high school graduate with 1 year of unfinished college behind him. I don't know. I got so many friends in real life that are Democrats and lefties who are voting for Harris. And so it's like, I feel like every time I open my mouth about this stuff, I risk losing them. Now, it's unfair to say, well, they weren't really anyway. No, fuck off. I mean, but it's more of like, I think the Republicans are going to catch up with the Democrats when it comes to that whole tribal insular thing. Like, you're with us or you're othered. And I hope they do. I mean, because you do have to watch what you say with Democrats. You do. And it's like, they went from supporting, oh, there's nothing wrong with Biden, to like, oh, Kamala is our choice now. It was just so, it's so sudden and scary, and it's about the psychology of mob mentalities in groups. I mean, I don't know.
Next stop.
I'm just so disappointed with both the Democrats and the Republicans. This is the best that you can do. There's so many brilliant minds in this country. The best you can do is Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Or Trump and J.D. Vance. When you got Bobby Jindal, when you got Vivek Ramaswamy, when you got Condoleezza Rice, if you want people of color. Nicole Shanahan, she's half Chinese. Her mom's from China, with her own stories of how she left fucking real communism. But that kind of diversity and representation doesn't count because they are other, they are not ally. I'm not buying that. I want to hire the best person for the job. Someone who's a public servant, someone that knows how to run public policy. You know what I mean? What's the first thing you do if like you set up camp somewhere? You need to make a sanitation committee. Just follow me here, because you're the leader. You can't do everything yourself. Plus, you need some accountability, and you need to give the other camp members some agency and some autonomy to do things. So you give it, hopefully, an odd number of people. Give 3 people. I need 3 people to run a sanitation committee. It's your job to make sure that we have a latrine that's far away from the drinking water, and that everyone else abides by this. I know someone's going to wake up at 3 a.m. and try to pee in the, somewhere, very close to camp. Don't do that. I mean, you're going to make us sick. There's one thing that camp, it just, that kills, here we go with history and war and what kills populations: bad sanitation, bad hygiene, disease. It's one of the side effects of war. But it's like, we need minds like that. I mean, there's a priority, a pecking order, a way to run society, complex systems, Sorry. Here we go. Destination of this train is... First train is an Ashmont train. The second train is a Braintree train. Here we go. I like to just frame it with the arriving and disembarking train. Thank you, Subway, for your service. I salute thee. All right, let's get to work. It's 5:30 a.m. It took 12 minutes to get here. That's that's like the nominal train ride here. But it's been apolitically incorrect Friday. I mean, seriously. I mean, neither one of these candidates I'm going to vote for. I voted for a woman in 2020, Jo Jorgensen, a libertarian candidate. So don't tell me like, oh, you're some kind of anti-woman, you're a misogynist because you don't want to vote for the Kamala, and you're the double mind crime because you're just brown. Come on, man. It's like, boy. But the world will turn. The world keeps turning. The sun will rise, with or without us. Alrighty. It's time to get to work. It's Friday. I want to land this plane. I just want to get this day over with. And I want to get to the pub. It's the only day of the week I can drink a pint of Guinness and get some wings, and chill out and have a great long weekend. We'll see you Tuesday with more gratitude. We might even do a Monday special from the studio Alrighty, well, thank you for paying attention to Apolitically Incorrect Friday. It's we're getting closer and closer to the presidential election, and plus, also keep we have ballot questions too, important ballot questions here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Voting for local elections is more important than voting for your president, because who really runs the country? It's the 7 bankers and big pharma people that live in the center of the moon. It's not the president. They, as we can see from the past 4 years, who run Bartertown? Exactly. This is a satirical show. The thing of good satire is you don't know if he's serious or not. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Have a great weekend. See you Sunday, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern for the Super Sully Sunday stream, the pop culture show. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Happy Friday.